You're listening to the Breadcrumb Mojito Podcast, hosted by Connor Well.
Welcome, bro. Thank you very much for coming. Always a
Thank you
pleasure.
for having me. Always a pleasure. Never a chore.
Never a chore.
So, yeah, thanks for having us back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, quite a different setup here.
Yeah.
Last time. So,
Moving up in the world, as you say. But yeah, no, it's interesting taking a little bit of a hiatus from it in December, getting married and honeymoon and then
life, you know.
house hunting and all that sort of stuff. And then I've really enjoyed doing like swimming lessons and stuff with Xander on Saturday mornings. And so then I just kind of got into the groove of a little bit more comfortable with being at home. And then I said to Mikey the other day that I was super thankful that he was like, we're doing one.
Yeah.
Because I was like, cool, all right, if I'm going to do one,
Yeah, you might as well do a few, right?
yeah, let's just keep it running. And at the Lewishams, we had quite a few people asking, like, when are you doing more podcasts and things like this? So I was like, that was good because it puts the self-consciousness a little bit at ease because you're like, oh, okay, there's actually people asking for a little bit more of it. So that's been but that's been fun. Would you like a drink?
I mean, it would be rude not to. Right? I think a pineapple and chili margarita has my name on it.
Lovely. We'll get it going. You know, hair of the dog.
Hair of the dog.
Big night last night. So,
mate, honestly. I love going out in Auckland hospitality and I love surprising people walking into venues and they're like, they act like I've died. They're like, but it's normally followed by a drink and a shot.
Yeah.
I'm feeling pretty sorry for myself today.
I can only imagine.
But if I remember rightly, last time we did this, I was horrifically hungover as well. So I feel like
This is the brand now.
the third time we do this, I'll be horrifically hungover as well. You know? So,
Good. Well, yeah, man. I mean, to be fair, you're the first person that I've had on for a second time.
oh wow!
So you're the first second time
inviting me back. Yeah,
Hey, I love it. We had a great chat last time.
we did. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Although watching myself back on some clips, definitely made me a little self-conscious.
Yeah, it's always like that. Like when I'm editing, it's like listening to my own voice. I'm like, would this guy shut up?
Yeah, literally. A lot of and ahhing, so hopefully I'm a little bit more cohesive today.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll be right as well. But yeah, man. I mean, since we last spoke, a lot's happened in
Big changes.
your world.
Yeah, I mean, actually, this is a pretty good opportunity for me to fill some people in because obviously I left Panacea, which was a pretty big shock for a lot of people. But to be honest with you, when I got permanent residency for this country, I was like, I really want to explore outside of Auckland. I feel like it's been a bit naff that I literally arrived in Auckland and didn't have money to leave Auckland several years ago. And so just kind of got stuck here and then never really explored. And so I always kind of romanticized the idea of leaving Auckland once I got my permanent residency. But then, of course, the opportunity at Panacea came about from Danny. And I was like, oh, that's too good to pass up. You know, I'd like to be part of something from the ground upwards. And yeah, I always kind of had this kind of niggling feeling that, you know, there's more life out there, and that there is. So when Mikey contacted me and was like, hey, I've got this really cool opportunity for you to be a part of something again from the beginning, I was like, I feel like I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life if I don't take it. As much as I was super happy. I mean, the team's fantastic. Danny's fantastic. Ryan, PJ, Leon, they're all absolutely brilliant. Yeah, no regrets. Like, loving Wellington. So I moved down to Wellington. I work with Mikey predominantly between a distillery and a bar called Bert's. So I run the cocktail program. I work with some pretty incredible people. We've got a sommelier down there with extensive fountain of knowledge on wine. And Mikey, who's just a fountain of knowledge on life and everything, as you know. That guy can inspire anyone, really. Yeah, it's just awesome. I feel like I'm brand new in hospo again. You know, it's a new scene, it's a new area to tackle, and I'm learning loads of new tricks, which, you know, when you get to your 30s, you know, not everyone has that luxury.
I love it.
So yeah, that's what's been new with me.
Yeah,
to Wellington, and now Auckland's a special occasion.
Yeah,
which is again new. It's awesome. So yeah, absolutely loving being back for Auckland Cocktail Week. But yeah, Wellington's cool, man.
Nice.
This is really cool.
Nice. So what sort of because obviously There's the distillery down there doing Chi vodka, and is the Penguins Crossing?
Penguins Crossing, yeah.
Yeah, that's the gin.
That's the gin.
So in terms of the cocktail program, is it all sort of designed around the gin and vodka scene to be able to utilize those projects? Mikey did mention that there's a lot of other local producers that have their products in the bar as well.
There's a lot of other local producers. So Dee's Place are a pretty big flagship for us in Wellington. We're their house, like the Chi. And then there's a lot of other bars down in Wellington that are using the Penguins Crossing as part of like a decanter program. So they can order 5 litres and we give them a nice crystal decanter to pour it from, and just until the bottle's ready.
Yep.
So Mikey can probably allude more to when the bottle will be ready, but launching a brand, we wanted to tackle the local market first, you know? I'm not even joking. I literally put 5 litres of gin or vodka in my bag, put it in my back rucksack, and then literally drive around on my e-scooter, delivering it to places. I'm not sure how much Mikey would have alluded to that. I've gone back to being a paper round boy again. Literally, but this time with 5 litres of gin. If I ever come off, it's going to be horrendous. But
scooter and
literally, I'll finish working. I've got an order for Dee's Place. It's all right, Mikey. I'm going to deliver it. And I literally just put it in my bag and then drive around the city. It's great. It's a chance for me to pop in and have a whiskey as well.
Yeah.
It's a really working with Mikey is just amazing. Like, he's the main reason why I went down there.
Yep.
Wanted to upskill myself and just learn more. I don't think you can ever stop learning. And yeah, he's a good person to learn from. And watching the production process of how he makes the gin, and how he makes the vodka, and how much care and attention to detail, and also bits that not everyone gets to see.
Yeah.
It's been absolutely fascinating. I've learned so much. So yeah, I don't have aspirations of becoming a distiller or anything like that. Like, hospitality is very much me. He's got his thing and I've got my thing. And for me, my aspirations are obviously at the end of it all. I've told everyone, I've alluded to it for years. I'd love to open up a bar.
Yep.
The concept is written, the format is set, but I want to make sure when I do it right. Mm-hmm. And so that's why working with people like Danny and Mikey and Adam at Parasol, it's just fundamental. I have to learn from the best in order to be the best. Yep. So yeah.
No, totally. And you get to watch, like, Mike, we talked about a lot of just learning experience when it comes to launching a brand and trying to juggle life and being an ambassador and all of those sort of aspects of it. And like, even when it came down to, we talked about the Penguins Crossing bottling, like getting the bottle, and he's like, it's one of those things that you learn over time that you just have to get it right. You have to do it once and you just have to get it right. And so it doesn't matter how many times you revise it, as long as when you do it, it's done right. And so you've had a great little sort of school of mentors to learn from it's
been pretty lucky, eh?
100%. I'd say you're very, very lucky. Not everyone gets the opportunity to work for so many amazing people and watch them through their learning process, which then, you can then write that in your book, like, okay, cool, when we did this, it didn't work out, so let's adjust this, or that one was really successful, so that's something that is replicatable and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's different, and I've definitely, people say you make your own luck, but there's no way I could have known in so many instances upon my career here in New Zealand. I've worked for the best and learned so much, and I've learned how I would do things differently as well, of how I'm going to eventually incorporate my own little stamp and take aspects of what they've taught me and then do it slightly differently as well. I think originality is super fundamental as well.
Yeah. So thinking, because last time we were talking, we were just coming off the back of the Scapegrace cocktail con, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And so from kind of that moment to now, and even from when you first started in New Zealand, how have you seen your own sort of style and that unique stamp evolve? And what have you ditched? What have you thought, like, I've got to stop doing that?
Well, no more competitions for me.
Okay.
As a brand ambassador, it's not appropriate. Not only does Mikey need me in the country, and that's obviously, I don't want that to sound the wrong way, because obviously I'm implying that if I do enter, I do well, and there's no guarantee with competitions. It's not just about how well you do, it's how well the next person does as well.
Yeah.
But these bartenders are evolving as well, Everyone's sort of already picked up on my tricks, and I'm seeing the standard already. It's elevating, which is amazing. And it's also, it's ironic again that we're sat here after Scapegrace, because I've just judged the Scapegrace finals in Wellington as well. So it feels like a bit of a full circle.
Perfect.
I'm judging competitions now way more than I'm entering.
Yeah,
and which is really cool. Judging competitions for me it's always been a passion of mine, because one, obviously you're included in all the fun and the competitiveness, without any of the pressure. There's still some pressure because you want to make sure that you're judging it appropriately, and there's no bias, which sometimes it's hard to switch off, especially when you know how hard someone's worked on something. You want them to do well, but I think I'm pretty good at turning that off and having that sort of blanket approach to each entry, which makes me what I like to think I'm a good judge of competitions. I think how things have evolved for me right now, I'm putting just as much effort into competitions as I am with the menu drinks at Bert's.
Yep.
Our drinks are super seasonal, so it's ever rotating. I love the theatrics of obviously the editing and the promotion of the drinks. I think it evolved, applied differently. That's probably the direction I'm heading in now. I'm teaching people more about competitions and giving them my tips and tricks of how I did well in certain competitions. So I think it's just I suppose the progression is very natural. It's just taking a step back now and learning from the masters like Mikey and trying to inspire the younger generation.
Yeah.
So that very natural progression, that's probably where I'm at right now, to be honest.
Yeah, nice. What are some of the words of advice that you would give to sort of younger competition bartenders coming up?
Honestly, so to put it in perspective, just judged the Wellington finals, and everyone did super well. There wasn't a low score. Like, there was 6 entries from Wellington, which is amazing. I actually reached out to a couple of the entries that entered this year and was like, you need to enter because you're a talent. And sometimes with these young bartenders, all it is taking the first step. And people's presentations were fantastic and people's drinks were fantastic as well. But they consistently scored high because they did well in both areas.
Yeah.
And this is what I told everyone. I've actually had a few chats with a few bartenders that are having their drinks judged for the Auckland finals next week, which I will not be partaking in. And they were like, what's the best advice? And I'm like, well, is your presentation key? Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Is the drink good? Maybe needs a little rework. And I'm like, well, you got to sort it, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's people focus on the big points in a competition and they lose because of the small points. It's the small details. And that's how it's the 5-point criteria. They go, yeah, cool. I've focused on this 50-point criteria. The bulk of it's done, and they miss out because they've not foraged their garnish fresh on the day, or I forgot that I haven't got it on the menu, but I'm not going to put it on the board. It's like that's 10 points right there.
Yeah,
and it's the small details. I think I talked briefly about it last time I was sat here, but I think half of the reason why I did well in competitions was I was good at promoting the drinks on Instagram and getting judges from overseas or nationally to look at the drinks and want to put me in the finals beforehand. And that's a detail that's often skipped, but it's such a obvious for me personally. And I think that ties back to everything I'm saying. It's the small details. That's the best way. That's how you win competitions.
Yep.
It's the big details. Everyone's going to do that. Everyone cares. You're up against, as I said before, it's not just about how well you're doing. It's about how well the other person does.
Yeah.
But everyone cares. Everyone's good. And to be honest with you, 9 out of 10 bartenders can make a balanced drink. Everyone can make a balanced drink. This is fantastic. Like, everyone can make a balanced drink. You're up against good. You've got to be great. You've got to stand out. So it's those small details. That's the best advice I could literally give anyone. And also reach out. I think I mentioned last time we sat down on this podcast as well. I was almost surprised that people had never once messaged me and gone, hey, like, I want to enter this competition. I want to do well. And I know you've done well in this competition in particular. Like, do you have any points or advice or anything like that? Because I've always been very open format. Like, I've learned from the best people, and I've only learned because they've shared their influence on me. They've shared what they know. I just want to impart the same. I just want to be like, hey, cool. I think this is a really good idea. This is your entry. Don't get me wrong, but these are just tips and tricks. There's no guarantee. I'm no better than some other competitors, you know. But I'd love to impart some advice. You know, I'd love to raise a community, because a rising tide raises all. You know, the more people that start winning over here, the more bars that open up and start winning awards. You know, like Theo and Panacea, and the more when I open up my own bar, places like Tails are going to already have their attention on New Zealand. It bodes well for me as well. Like a rising tide raises all, and this is what a lot of people miss. You know, so yeah,
totally. I even think about that's what we started the Bar Society on, was just to elevate the drinking experience across the board, work with as many people as we can, and that exact same idea. You know, rising tide lifts all boats. Let's make drinks great. Let's make it great. Yeah.
It's not just for us, it's for everyone, but it benefits us as well.
Yep.
You know, it's, make drinks great again. I like that. And I really liked your segment as well. When we're watching you do your presentation yesterday, don't know what that was, but
presentation arms.
Presentation arms, yeah. I really like that little the little insert you added as well about, hey, if you want to enter a cocktail competition, we want to sponsor you, because you were always fantastic with me as well. If I ever needed something, you would like, hey, cool, here's a box of stuff. Let me know how it goes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know that you're very community focused. You always have been.
Yeah, 100%. It's I fundamentally see it like, if I've got at the end of the day, it's a business, and I've got a wife and a son to feed. And
of course,
if I want that business to be successful, I have to support the people that are going to allow it to be successful.
Yeah.
No one will buy product off us if I'm a dick and I don't look after the industry. And at the end of the day, it's the industry that keeps us alive.
Yeah.
You know, when the industry suffers, we suffer, and vice versa. When it does great, we also do great.
Yeah.
And so I like, competitions were never my strongest point. And so I also like to be able to look after the people that are focusing on a different area that I've focused on. It's not that I think I pigeonholed myself a little bit, and like I'm a bartender, not a competition bartender type thing, but I still have a very deep appreciation for the people that went all the different sort of facets of what it is. And I like seeing everyone evolve into their own, as you've gone through this progression from, bartender to then competition bartender to now brand ambassador, and it's a constant evolving. And
it's constantly evolving. It's constantly exciting as well.
Exactly. And I think every bartender, when they start, they have the dream of one day I'm either going to work for an amazing brand that I love and respect, or I'm going to have my own venue and I'm going to get to show the general public what I'm passionate about. And it really is, bartending is just an expression of our passion. And
absolutely,
the side product to that is you get a bit toasted.
You get a bit toasted, yeah. As I found out last night. Well, I mean, bartending, it is whatever you want it to be, right? There's no climbing a corporate ladder. There's you can come in essentially, especially in New Zealand, you can come in at any level really if you can talk the talk.
Yeah.
And you can make it exactly what you want it to be, And it's a shame because I've actually met quite a few people over my 17 years at hospitality. I feel like that was a bit of an exaggeration. 16 years. I'm getting on. But I've met so many people that have been burnt by the wrong bar. Like they've come in and they've started doing one aspect of hospitality, and they're like, you know what, I'm just not very good at it. And I'm like, there's always a part of me that's like, are you not good at it? I feel like you're really good at it. I feel like you just picked the wrong venue.
Yeah.
It comes back to how lucky I've been. It's very easy for me to say that, but yeah.
I agree with that. There's always, we've all worked for one person or with a group of people.
Several, that have been.
They don't have the like when I hear you talk about like wanting people to come and ask you questions and get advice and help elevate themselves, is that it really comes from like the heart of a teacher.
Yeah,
there is that want to. Yeah, you think about teachers that we grew up listening to in school. They want to pass down knowledge and they want the students to do well. And so it's that having the heart of a teacher that matters. And occasionally we come across people that don't have that. It's more self-centered and self-focused.
Honestly, there are names that spring to mind straight away that I obviously won't say on camera.
But you know who you are.
But you know who you are. That's right. You know who you are. But they're fountains of knowledge, but they're gatekeepers as well.
Yeah,
it's a natural shame. It's what's the point in having all this knowledge if you're not willing to share it?
100%.
Don't be wrong. Have some cards up your sleeve. Like I generally think with my concept for the bar that will eventually happen. I do think that I'm going to have some points of difference that other bars don't have, which is great. That's for me. And when I do unveil it, fantastic. But for the stuff that you can help someone with and rising the tide, why not share? Like just seeing Wellington do so well in the Scapegrace finals, it's a flex in itself. It's just these bartenders down there so many of them have wanted to enter competitions, but they've never had somebody there before going, hey, you should enter. You're really good. You're actually substantially better than you think you are.
Yeah.
And look at you now, you're absolutely smashing it. So there's somebody I work with at Bert's, for instance, called Rebecca, and she's been very wine focused for many years. And I kept saying to her, I was like, you should enter cocktail competitions. And there was this kind of like hesitant, I don't know if it's really for me. And then she put together this drink. And it was wine focused. It was a bit of her, and it was fantastic. It blew me away. It had this valerian aroma. It had this Bendigo Pinot shrub, and I was like, I don't think you realize how elevated your drinks are. And now she's entered. It's all she can think about. When are the finalists going to be announced? When are the finalists going to be announced? And I'm like, it's cool, eh? How cool is that competitive? Like, that rush, and she's like, I want to enter more competitions now. And I'm like, you fucking shit.
Yeah.
You're so good. You're so good. Like the whole team down there is fantastic, but you're so good. Enter more. Put yourself out there, Why not? You've got nothing to lose and so much to gain.
Exactly.
So
what's the worst that can happen, eh?
What's the worst that can happen? Yeah.
People know your name and you didn't win.
Yeah.
That is really the worst that can happen.
I've experienced the worst that can happen. You can choke up on stage and you can be like, I've lost way more competitions than I've won.
Yeah.
That's literally the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But every time I've choked up or I've made a mistake, I've never done it again.
Yeah.
I always, this is another bit of advice for people when it comes to competitions as well. I always try to get someone to film me. Mm-hmm. So I've literally got, and this is the biggest dopamine adrenaline rush I can ask for. Adrenaline is probably not the right word. Serotonin. If I ever feel a bit down, I can watch some videos, but I try and get someone to film me, even whether I win or lose, because if I lose, I can watch the video and I can work out how I can not make that mistake again. But also, I've got videos as well of where I've done presentations and I've absolutely smashed it. And it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of preparation for me. I'm not a natural. I have to study and I have to recite my lines. And just having that little bit of affirmation, that little bit of, I went out there and I did that, I smashed it. And I'm super proud of what I did there, Yeah. Sometimes if I'm feeling a bit low or feel a bit stagnant, I could just watch a video and just go, you know what? Do you remember I did that? And it's just that sense of accomplishment that I get from it. Like I'd love other people to have that as well. Yeah. And it's
that's reinstill that belief in yourself.
Yeah,
have that confidence.
Just like what, you're capable. You're absolutely capable, and that's what I think a lot of people in hospitality could do with.
Yeah, totally. So when you watch a competition now, you're judging, like I'm not asking you to give away your whole criteria so everyone has a roadmap, but what are the main things in terms of the presentation thing? Because like say everyone can make a great drink. It's occasionally that presentation where people choke up on or they don't rehearse their lines and things. So what are some little things that you look for in a great presentation?
The main thing I look for is closed loops. Everything, saying something with intention, not just throwing something in there like everyone in Wellington did super well in the Scapegrace competitions. I can't stress that enough. Like everyone scored highly, but there were fundamental. It's so interesting watching it from a judge's perspective, and you can sometimes put it down to lack of preparation. I like to put it down to nerves, which can be tackled by preparation, of course. But I don't know. Sometimes you just go blank when people are watching you. It was just me and two judges in the room, and I could see the shaky hands, and then afterwards the bartender would be like, can't believe I was shaking. And I was like, of course you were shaking. Even if it's just three of us, we're watching you. We're analysing what you're doing. Like, it's supernatural.
Yep.
Don't be hard on yourself. Like, I've got tips and tricks. So when I pour into a glass, like, I'll lean on things. You know, I like to make myself structurally sound, because otherwise I'm. But closed loops, saying something with intention. You know, not just adding something in there. I've done this because of this, because it ties back to this. Closing those loops with everything you say. You only get a certain amount of time to speak, so make sure that you fill it with everything has intention. Everything is closed loop.
Yeah.
You haven't just added a garnish because it's aromatic. It ties back to the narrative, and it just adds to the profile of the drink. It's either edible, it adds to the story, or it's aromatic.
Yeah.
Like, don't just add something for the sake of adding something. Everything has to be closed loop. Again, you're up against people and everyone wants to win. It's not just you. You know, you're not singled out as the one person who wants this more than anyone. Everyone wants this. And even if they pretend like they don't, they do. Like the amount of bartenders I meet that, you know, they pretend, they act all coy. You know, I'm not that fussed, you know. And it tends to be people that have been doing it for a long time. I'm not that first on this one, to be honest. And then they turn up on the day, they present, and you're like, you fucking do want this. Of course you do. You know, you don't get the treats without the mahi, right? You've got to, they turn up on the day clear, concise, and prepared. And that's what you're up against. Like, you just got to be better.
Yeah, I think that being clear, I tend to find is something that's a harder thing to tackle, because it's about slowing yourself down, right?
Slowing yourself down, pacing yourself. It's preparation. It's just practice. Practice makes perfect. And it's dealing with the nerves of performing in front of people. Like, the best way for me to get around it is literally just reciting in the shower, reciting in the mirror, reciting to people. Johnny Park's a really good one. Before I performed in Sydney Bar Week, and that was in front of 150 people, and that was for Down the Gay, and that was also terrifying, by the way. I presented clear, concise, and obviously did well, but I couldn't even keep food down that day. I was so nervous. I was honestly, I couldn't even. I was leaking from every orifice. But everything was just, nothing was working. There was no. It's crazy what nerves and anxiety can do to the body. But I remember reciting in front of Johnny, and what he would do is we would be talking, and then all of a sudden, as I'm doing the presentation, he'd go, and I go, and he'd go, keep going. He's like, you've got to be prepared for people walking out the room. You've got to be prepared for people dropping stuff, you know? And this is just somebody, and I hate to admit this on camera because it's going to go straight to his head, you know? No one's got an ego like Johnny Park. Joking.
Said with love.
Johnny is someone who's never been shy on sharing what he knows.
Yes. Yep. So he's another heart of a teacher.
He's the heart of a teacher, wonderful human being, absolute wounder. And one of my best friends, but he's taught me a lot. And he would throw bottles at me, he'd throw coasters at me, while I'm performing, just to get me in the rhythm, you know. And because I had that anticipation on the day that somebody's going to walk out, someone's going to drop something, the phone's going to go off like it did at 39 for Florida Canyon, because I recited so much. When that phone went off, I didn't even notice. Afterwards, people were like, I'm so pissed off that phone went off during your presentation, because I know how much work you put into it. And I was like, what phone? I was just that in the zone. I was like, oh yeah, don't worry. I have my script. I had it nailed. I can recite every line from my Dalmagay entry to this day. I even remember the end of the toast, and it's because it was just ingrained. But I had to. Yeah, I had to, because I don't trust that I'm going to recite it word for word without preparation.
Yeah.
So.
Brace yourselves. It's sponsorship time. I know ads can feel like the Broccoli podcast, but today we're talking about the Bar Society, a company I own and operate. So think of it as supporting my broccoli farm. This goes out to all cocktail lovers and hospitality pros. Are you ready to elevate your drinking experience? Introducing the Bar Society, New Zealand's leading clear ice supplier. Whether you're stirring down a classic old-fashioned or crafting the perfect gin and tonic, there's no substitute for crystal clear ice. Not only does our ice look stunning, but it also melts slower, keeping your drinks colder and your flavors perfectly balanced. From home bartenders to high-end establishments, the Bar Society's here to bring your beverages to the next level. Order today and see why we're trusted by the best bars and restaurants in New Zealand. Visit thebarsociety.co.nz and let us transform your drinks. The Bar Society. Elevate your drinking experience.
I love that aspect. That's something that I've never thought of. That you can recite it as much as you can alone when you're in a quiet room or you're in your office or anything like that. But rehearsing in front of someone that their goal is to try and distract you is just that's a fucking game changer.
It's a complete game changer.
Yeah.
How good's that?
Yeah.
You know, it's it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I remember the first time he did it in front of other people. So I'm reciting my lines in the villa, the Airbnb during Sydney Bar Week, and all of a sudden he throws a bottle, and I could see someone just go, like, tap him, like, what are you doing? He's reciting his lines, and I'm like, no, this is part of it. This is how you win. Yeah. Like you have to be ready to be distracted, you know?
Yeah. It gives you that it's a real world experience. Like shit is going to happen.
Yeah.
Be ready for it.
That's it. Be ready for it. You know, you might drop a glass, you know, your phone might not come out the way you want it to, you know, like you have to be ready for all these things. And if you've got those lines recited, no one will know. Only you know.
Yeah.
Your drink might look slightly different on the day, but nobody knows. You're the one presenting. This is your drink. This is your world. This is your presentation. So, yeah.
I love that. I'm always going to remember that piece of advice now. Thank you, Johnny.
Thanks, Johnny.
That's another, bit of, I guess, wisdom. That's just coming from someone that's done it a long time.
Tips and tricks from the people that have done it before.
Yeah.
You know, I can't sit here and talk about how lucky I am and not at least try to follow in the footsteps of people I've learned from, you know. It's, I'm just the next person to do it, and now it's somebody else, you know. I'm not entering competitions anymore. I miss it, but also I don't at the same time. The pressure and the,
It takes a lot of mental energy.
It takes a lot of mental energy.
Yeah.
I have to apply myself, and now I'm applying myself to learning and growing again, you know, just like I did when I first started entering competitions, you know.
No, that's great. That's great. Have you found that, so now you're doing the cocktails for Bert's Bar and getting in that sort of creative realm.
Yeah.
Do you think about those cocktails the same way you thought about competition cocktails, or do you think about them slightly adjusted?
Slightly adjusted. I think there's a level of pedantic you can be with competitions because you're not costing them.
For
costing volume. So costing. There's obviously that, but I don't deviate too much.
Yeah.
Every drink has a story. Every drink is presented by the talented team down there with that story. You know, Mikey taught me the 3s, the 2s, and the 1s. It's one of the best tricks he's given me, and that is, if you've got 3 minutes at a table, this is what you talk about. If you've got 2 minutes at a table, this is what you talk about. And when you've got 1 minute. So when I'm teaching people about the drinks that I've put so much love and care and attention into, the same way I would with competition drinks, I teach them the 3s, the 2s, and the 1s. If you've got 3 minutes, you talk about it from this angle and gauge with the customer who's interested, because story is flavor. And so many customers come in because they want to resonate with what they're drinking. Yeah. And that's a big part of competitions. There's not too much deviation there, and then you've got the 2s, and then you've got the 1s. You know, if you're super busy, you're under the pump, somebody wants to know, hey, this drink is bright, it's textural, and it signifies tree harvest. You know, it's about this time of year in autumn. A big part of Maramataka is tree harvest. You know, it's out there. You go out there, you forage fruit, and it's very community. And it's also about gathering that fruit and to get you through winter. You know, like each drink has intention and story. Everyone will have to come down to Bert's and try my menu. I'm very proud of it.
Yeah.
And it's something I've worked on with Mikey. Again, you know, it's I'm never going to be in a position where I don't try and take advice off someone else. There's always a better way of doing it, and sometimes you just need more than one person to look at it. So as much as I'm proud of it, I can call it my menu. It's a collective. It's a team.
Yeah. There's a good line that there's a FBI hostage negotiator, Chris Voss, and he does like business coaching for people that are in negotiations for business. And he has this line: never be so convinced of what you want that you won't take a better idea.
Yep.
And so it's, never be so focused on these are my drinks and this is my creation, and it's selfish and self-centered that when someone has a good idea, don't disregard it. Be like, it's fucking really good.
It's fucking
I'm going to
good.
chuck that in there.
That's really good advice. And I've never been shy to seek out the advice of people that have just been doing it longer than me as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's I've convinced myself, and everyone has, I suppose, at some point, so I'm doing something the right way, and then someone will come and go, what about this? I'm like, yeah. All right, okay. So that's a really good bit of advice.
Yeah.
So
Nice. So, sorry, no, you carry on.
no.
Hey, well, I wanted to ask about what Bert's Bar was like, because I'm trying to picture it in my mind. I haven't had the privilege of being there myself yet.
So Bert's Bar, to put it in perspective for the people watching and the people that maybe have not been to Wellington, Wellington's fucking weird, by the way.
Okay.
It's such a strange place. It's incredible. There's some cool cats down there. But we are open Monday to Friday. We're closed Saturday and Sunday.
Huh.
We have a waiting list on Tuesday, but we're closed Saturday because if we open up the doors, no one's around.
Really?
Yeah, we're just in the business district because it's such a condensed population down there. You've got the business. I always like to tell people that Wellington has two city centres. You've got the business district, the Lambton Quay, and then you've got Cuba Street, where the craft and a lot of the culture is, and a lot of the best bars are as well. We're a bit standalone. Lambton Quay, there's a lot of life. There's not a whole lot of personality. And we're also following in the footsteps of a bar that was once there called Beaujolais years ago, which I only found out about, of course, moving to Wellington. But Beaujolais was a bit of a staple. We've got very corporate crowds that comes in hard and fast Monday to Friday because they finish work around that area and they want to drink wine. And essentially the distillery, the owners, they bought the bar. They actually bought the entire venue, and they wanted to obviously make it a showpiece for the Chi-Chi and the Penguins Crossing. But they're also big fans of not trying to fix something that's not broken. If it's full already and your bread and butter is wine, why try to change that?
Yeah.
So what me and Mikey have done is we don't want to take away from the regular crowd down there because, again, like I said, we're full on a Tuesday. We're absolutely packed. We have a waiting list. Tuesday went onwards. But it's about how can we just elevate it slightly, just incorporate a cocktail menu. It's not a big cocktail menu. The wine list is far more extensive than the cocktail menu, but just have super elevated drinks, trying to do something to make us stand out, but not take away from the wine section. But everyone who walks into Bert's will say it reminds me of like a basement bar in London. It's dark, it's dimly lit, it's a very sexy space, and it's from 3 o'clock onwards. It's full with people that come in that want to drink wine. They want to try my cocktails. But there's no reason for it to be open at the weekend because no one works around that area. No one goes to that area. There's just not enough people. So that's why I've been whoring myself out to other bars around Wellington. You know, I work at Dee's Place on Saturdays, which is cool. I work at Regent, and I'm just picking up more tips and tricks and different ways of doing things. Like Dee's Place have very much like a match bar way of doing things. Like they've got foot pedals to replace the taps. You know, so they can keep their hands free to wash their tins, and you know, like it's little details like that actually you don't see too often in New Zealand. But people like TK and Devon have taken it from other areas. You know, TK used to work at the Baxter Inn in Sydney, which is ironic because the first thing I said when I walked into Dee's Place was, "Oh, this reminds me of the Baxter Inn." And I was actually met by a bartender who was like, "Oh shit, yeah," because he used to work there, and I was like. So what you meant to say was you were bang on the money, mate. But, you know, those little tips and tricks and stuff, I find them absolutely invaluable because I'm like, cool, foot pedals, you know, it's a good idea. What, take that?
Yeah.
You know, when I eventually open up my own space, you know, so it gives me a more rounded perspective on bartending. It's also really good, again, just to crack some tins and work with younger bartenders who are so passionate. I get just as inspired from them as they do from me. And it's also a really good way to integrate into a new hospitality.
Really immerse yourself and go rock star.
There's no getting to know someone like getting in the weeds with them.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
you know, that's how you get to know someone, of course. And it's been really helpful to help me integrate, having those weekends free, working at different bars on the Saturday, cracking tins and cracking smiles and getting to know the locals as well. It's been fundamental for my integration into Wellington.
Yeah.
Wellington's cool. It's fucking weird,
Yeah.
but it's cool.
You like it? Is it? Would you
like
prefer
it.
Wellington over Auckland as a city to live?
Yes and no. I've told a few people since I've been back, because that's a question that quite often I get asked.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, Wellington, Auckland.
And it's not really to ignite the competition. between Wellington and
It's all
Auckland.
down to personal preference.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
For me personally, Wellington is here. Auckland is just here.
Yeah.
This is my community. This is my home. And when I come back to Auckland, I always feel like I'm at home. Don't get me wrong, I'm super happy I made the move to Wellington. It's been invaluable. It's been fantastic. And it's a really cool place. There's a lot of opportunity down there as well. I've got exactly what I wanted from it. And I'm super happy down there. It's fantastic. It's a lovely little community. But for me, Auckland is just, personal preference-wise, I prefer it. The weather is substantially better. If you heard the saying, Wellington on a good day, you can't be Wellington on a good day. It's because they don't exist. Although, I will say, Paul, he's the jammiest bastard in the world. He pisses me off when he talks about Wellington, because he's been down to visit me a couple of times now, and every time he's come down, it's been a good day. Okay. And then he's sat there all nonchalant. He's like, oh, you know what, the weather in Wellington's actually quite nice. And I'm like, fuck off, mate. Fuck off. No, it's not. It's a fucking typhoon at the moment down there, and that's a standard. I swear it's been flooded twice since I moved down there. The whole of Newtown's gone twice, you know. Not to joke, because it's been horrific, but I'm like, this seems like very much a standard procedure in Wellington, you know. There's an earthquake. Everyone's worried about earthquakes. The weather is fucking shocking. I remember when I first moved down there, I was on my e-scooter on my first day to work, and I pull up on the road and I can see incoming traffic, and all of a sudden this big gust of wind comes from behind me and it picks me, and I'm like, whoa. And I start moving out into that traffic, and I was like, well, this is it, you know, like day one working in Wellington, this is how I go, you know, the fucking wind. Mother Nature takes me out, you know. It's horrendous. It's the weather is pretty shocking, but for Paul, oh yeah, I really like the Wellington weather. I'm like, piss off, mate. Piss off.
Oh, that is hilarious. Yeah, it's always when you go and show someone something, they either say the worst or the best.
It makes me look like I'm
Talking shit.
Yeah, talking shit. Yeah, I've got a chip on my shoulder. I'm like, oh, mate, the weather's fucking... Hey, make sure to bring a raincoat. Comes down, blue skies. I'm like, fuck you, Paul. Although that guy probably has the sunshine follow him all the time.
He shines out of his own.
But yeah, no, Wellington's cool. I don't know if I could live with the weather for the rest of my time here in New Zealand, but I'm very happy down there.
Yeah, nice. Do you see a different style in, like, you know, does Auckland have a very sort of distinctly Auckland style of how bartenders operate compared to Wellington? Because I mean, the cultures are very different.
Cultures are different.
People are different. It's I've always seen Wellington as perhaps like a little more eclectic and artsy, a little more cultured, whereas Auckland to be slightly more corporate to a degree.
Wellington's Melbourne and Auckland, Sydney, right? It's it's definitely got more of a commercial feel, in corporate feel here in Auckland, as you said. I always tell people there's a lot of cool cats down in Wellington, and yeah, there's a lot of really cool people. It's very hipster at times. There's a lot of wine bars. There's a brand new listening bar, and I'm surprised there wasn't a listening bar in Wellington beforehand, and maybe there was. I just don't know about it. But yeah, they operate very similar. Yeah. You've got your Courtney Place, which is your Auckland Viaduct.
Yes.
And you have your sort of flagship spots that everyone goes to, like Dee's Place, which is essentially caretaker. Different in terms of they've got a menu, but it's on a chalkboard, you know. It's the drinks are similar in style. It's very American whiskey focused. And then you've got your Regent, which is your Parasol and Swing, probably.
Yes.
And the more I think about it, the more I'm second guessing myself. I'm like, well, is it? It's not really, but yeah, like there's little micro cultures within Wellington, the same way there is in Auckland. It's actually a lot easier to crack Wellington than it is Auckland. I will say that. Obviously, helping out at bars at the weekend has helped me, but I've found it very easy to get to know people. But I suppose that's just there's less people and it's more condensed, so naturally. And the people that I knew before I moved down there, turns out they know everyone. People like Jack Driver and Regent and Devon at Dee's Place have really sort of took me under their wing. And turns out they know everyone. So again, lucky. Just know the right people. And Mikey, of course. Mikey. Although he leaves at the weekend to go back to Blenheim. So, it's
a lot of travel.
It's a lot of travel, yeah. So, and it's a lot of pedaling as well.
Yep.
You know, like that wooden plane from Blenheim to Wellington is a lot of pedaling. I always tell him so. And he stays in a frat house as well. Did he tell you that?
Vaguely, not on the podcast.
I like to tell people he lives in a frat house, but he doesn't. He lives with some very academic, very sensible people that probably party less than I do. But because he lives with a younger crowd, it's like a bit of a joke between him and everyone else. I go, stays in the frat house when he goes. But yeah.
That's fun. So who's in charge of the wine list at Bert?
A guy called Gary Pluck. He's like the number 6 som in the country at the Som Awards, which is a whole world that I'm just tapping into now. I've worked around wine before, but I've never had. I suppose I've never worked with someone who's anchoring it and willing to teach. And that's not true. I've worked with people that are willing to teach, but I've never had someone where they've kind of devoted themselves to wine. Very much come from a cocktail side of things. So Gary does the wine list. I'm a big fan of learning and teaching everyone what you know, but I'm also a big fan of having aces in their places. He's the wine guy, so it's his list. Even says Gary the wine guy on the menu.
Cool.
He's a cool guy. He's an old dog who's been doing this for a while and just knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know? So he does the wine list. He does regular wine trainings with us, and
What's something that you've learned about wine from those wine trainings that you have found really interesting?
I've learned quite a few things from him about wine, which is cool. There's a lot of lingo that I've picked up surrounding wine, which has been quite fun. And I suppose the way he breaks down wine is the way that I had whiskey broke down to me, Parasol, and of course here. And obviously picking up on the regional influence of wine, which similar to whiskey again, has been quite interesting as well. You know, they go hand in hand. Yeah. And I've worked with a lot of bartenders over the years that will branch into whiskey and spirits, and they're super passionate, but they won't touch wine. They go, no, it's not my thing. Actually, they're essentially the same things, obviously, from very different sources, but there's just as much care and cultivation and innovation that goes into both categories. That's been a really fun element of the job as well, just learning about wine.
Yeah, I've always found whenever I had the great privilege of working with Jonathan Ross in Rockpool in Melbourne, and he was the som from 11 Madison Park.
Wow.
Fuck, when I would talk to him, he knew more about spirits than I did.
Yeah.
And he was one of the best soms in the world. And it was incredible to see just how he approached his knowledge with wine.
Yeah.
He essentially had a roadmap or a grid in his brain, and then he could just affix that to every other category of alcohol. So he taught me shit about cocktails and whiskey, and I was just like, man, I thought I was the spirit dude. But I'm here just absorbing all of this knowledge, and the complexity of understanding that soms have is just, I'm always blown away from it.
Right?
Yeah, and always intimidated because I feel that it's just such a big world, and it's a lot older world as well. There's so much more sort of heritage throughout the globe when it comes to wine that, I've always found wine to be quite intimidating, but watching a master work is nothing beats it.
Whiskey can be intimidating as well. Like these master blenders.
Yeah.
Like the way that they obviously take whiskey from different sources and create this consistent product on such a mass-produced scale, that's incredibly intimidating as well. Yeah. Like, and there's also there's a degree of pretension with all fields where there are the people that have been doing it before you that have learned the correct lingo, that can sometimes add a layer of pretension because they don't break it down for you. Gary's not like that. Gary's very much, I like the way he talks about wine the exact same way I talk about cocktails.
Yeah.
You know, like story is flavor. He talks a little bit about the wine grower, the provenance, and he'll say, oh, this wine is just fun. It laughs, you know, it's yeah, I like the way the little cues, you know, it's the exact same way I talk about cocktails. We do the same thing, just in different fields.
Yeah.
And so many people pigeonhole themselves into one category, and they're so nonchalant about the other category. When I'm like, hey, it's up to you if it's your thing or not. But yeah,
No,
why not learn all of it?
Exactly. I mean, like we were in the wild turkey tasting session last night here at Panacea, and man, we got to taste some incredible little bottles.
Yeah,
and even just hearing about all the stories, you know, they're things that you don't hear often, and finding out the lineage. Yeah, distillers and blenders and happy accidents.
Accidents. I mean, the whole story around Thomas McCarthy. I hope I've got that right. They've been ridiculed online of all. Thomas McCarthy, you know, him going out on wild turkey hunts and taking a bottle of whiskey and people associating that. It's crazy to think that. I mean, I fucking love history anyway, and that's one of my favorite things about whiskey is it's just how fucking old some of it is.
Yeah.
Hearing Danny talk about whiskey here and trying these like super old vintage expressions of stuff that we can find readily accessible these days has always fascinated me, you know. And wild turkey, it's just crazy to think that obviously these wild turkey trips are being talked about today in present day, the exact same way that when he gets a vintage bottle of vermouth and puts it on the table that he's won at an auction to put into a cocktail, I'm always like, what's the story behind this particular bottle? What attic has this been sat in? Where's this dust come from? Like, you know, and now it's being cracked open today by us and enjoyed by us. It's like, how fucking cool is that?
Yeah, a taste of history.
I'm inspired by the new and the modern, and how cool is that? But the old and the historic is far more interesting for me.
Yeah.
You know, it's just even the not just the concept and the appreciation behind the narrative of what we're drinking, but the physical bottle. Where's that been? You know, how did that end up at auction? You know, whose garage was it sat in, accumulating dust over the years? You know, it's
it's amazing how many bottles like that move without anyone even knowing.
Yeah,
as well. You know,
how many bottles are sat in storage right now that we're going to crack open one day in years to come? You know, there are bottles out there that there will be.
Yep.
You know, I wonder what they're up to now. What are they up to?
Yeah, and like I think, you know, our grandparents, they've probably got a couple of like tasty bottles tucked away that they've forgotten about, and you know, when time comes to have to go through.
Yeah,
and sort things out, you're going to find these little gems like, oh, this, you know, Lefroy from how many years ago, and this bottle of wine from 1,000 years ago. And
mate, I've got a story around that actually. My grandparents, when they were renovating their old house, my granddad was knocking in a bathtub and found a couple of vintage bottles of Bell's whiskey.
Wow!
Just like underneath, I wish could probably find a picture, but he found a couple of bottles of Bell's whiskey and he's kept them. He opened one of them, drank it. It was quite a low proof actually.
Yeah.
It written on the bottle as well. It hadn't degraded over time. It was just quite a low proof bottle of whiskey. But yeah, there's one just sat on their shelf back in the UK. Just this vintage bottle of Bell's. I'm like, how fucking cool is that? How did it end up under the bathtub?
Yeah. That's the story.
Sealed in. Yeah.
It's like when people renovate houses and they leave notes for the next people. When they do that renovation type thing, like just a passing down through many hands, and
yeah, I love that.
That's a great gift. Like,
well, I think it's mine one day.
Yeah,
I think the bottles of Bell's whiskey. I think they want me to have it.
Lovely.
When the time's right.
Cherish that.
When I'm 40. And I've got a few bottles that I'm saving for when I'm 40.
Yeah. Why is 40 such an important age to crack them open?
It's just a milestone, isn't it? You know.
Yep.
It's good to enjoy things while you can, because you never know when that opportunity might arise again. You know, and a lot of people hold out. So I try not to have milestones that are too far away, but I think it's somewhat nothing less than optimistic to hope that I'll make it to 40. Although with the wind, well,
I was just thinking about, mate, you're going to end up in traffic.
it's been a close call. It's been a close call. So
that's going to be a casual Wednesday morning. You're going to end up on the fucking news.
we should get them to send them over now. Next day delivery as well, please. You know, it's I think flying into Wellington as well. Yeah,
It sounds a lot like, UK weather, which is,
I've never experienced wind like it.
the wind is a whole different thing.
The wind's a whole different thing.
I mean, Wellington's always been the windy city.
Yeah, I think it's the windiest city in the world.
Yeah.
I think somebody told me.
Yeah.
But for Paul, it's full like to blue skies.
Couldn't even fly a kite.
Bloody bastard.
Oh, that's great, dude. All right.
Yeah.
We're it's kind of coming to the end of our time now.
Yeah.
It's been a great chat. We've already been going an hour.
Honestly, I just love chatting with you.
Yeah, it's always a good yarn.
You know, it's it's always fun.
It always feels very relaxed. It's just like catching up over a drink.
This is me. Yeah, I know. Yeah, who would have thought?
Yeah. Oh, cheers, dude. Thank you very much for coming back and gracing us with your presence.
No worries at all, mate. Yeah, no, I'm quite happy to update people with where I'm at and where I've gone.
Yeah, 100%. Because to be fair, it was a little bit of like a surprise when I heard you were leaving. I was just like, oh, well, I
never really announced it until I remember posting a story saying, hey, make sure to come down on Saturday because it's going to be my last shift. Panacea reshared it. I'm not even joking. I got like 300 messages on Instagram and everyone was like, this is the thing as well. I got a lot of people messaging me asking me what happened. And I was like,
everyone thinks the worst.
Everyone thinks the worst. They're like, well, what happened? I'm like, nothing happened. I got offered a job in Wellington, so I'm leaving.
Yeah, why does it have to be so bad?
Shook hands.
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah, just left. Yeah, I just went to go work somewhere else. I mean, natural progression again, it's been here for 2 years, absolutely loved it. But I've got my own aspirations, I've got to keep using the time I've got to apply myself to as many different things and learn and sponge off people as much as I can. Otherwise, it's time wasted for me at the moment. It's
100%. You can't. Yeah, and I mean, when opportunities come up, like exactly what you said at the start, you don't want to have any regrets.
I don't want to have any regrets. You miss out on 100% of the opportunities you don't take, right?
Yeah.
So it's I've got to where I'm at now, where I can't afford to say no anymore. If there's an opportunity that comes my way, I won't hesitate to do what's best for me because I don't expect anything less from anyone else. It's I had an itch to leave Auckland for a while. It was nothing to do with Panacea. It was just, again, I got permanent residency and I was like, I've not left Auckland. And for some people, that's absolutely fine. But for me, I'm a traveler at heart. I've lived in a few different countries and I've always again romanticized the idea of leaving and traveling around. And who knows, I might be in Christchurch in a couple of years' time and nothing would have happened. I would have just left and gone to Christchurch and would have tried to tackle the bar scene down there. There's some cool cats down there as well. So
There is. Yeah.
I'm going to keep moving, but until I'm anchored in a bar.
Nice.
So,
no, that's great, dude. Thank you very much for the little update, the little catch up.
Yeah,
always a pleasure, never a chore.
Always a pleasure, never a chore. Never a chore.
And it's funny. I was thinking like, should we do a breadcrumb mojito moment? But I feel as though the story about the wind nearly pushing you into traffic on your first day down there. That's the perfect breadcrumb mojito moment there. And it just came up.
I literally turned up to work and I was like, wow, I feel like I nearly died. And they're like, you okay? And I was like, hey, fucking wind tried to kill me.
One day got bloody war stories.
I was like, this is it, and the traffic was coming in hard and fast. I was like, oh shit, oh. Okay, bye.
I love it, dude. It's always a pleasure. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Hey, we'll be catching up more in the future as well.
Well, I had a big night last night, so I'm going to go back and I'm a wallower. I'm going to go back and I think I'm going to wallow in my hotel room for a bit longer and recuperate and then go out and see more people.
Yeah.
That's time, yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah. Thank you very much, everyone.
Take care.
Ciao.
You're listening to the Breadcrumb Mojito Podcast, hosted by Connor Well.